And welcome back to For Such a Time as This, the place where there is no such thing as a silent witness. At the Supreme Court, it is January 13th, 2027. Before the Supreme Court, there are lawyers arguing that transgender males should not be able to compete in female sports because the transgender males have an unfair advantage. That's their angle, that's their strategy, that's their reasoning. The other side, who says that men or males who think they're females should and can, because there's really no distinction. Male and female is a social construct. Genesis 1:27, so God created man in his own image. In the image he created him, male and female, he created them. There's two sexes. If you want to call them genders, there's two genders. There's no third. There's no in between. At the Supreme Court, Justice Coney Barrett is asking questions along the lines that it's wrong for the transgender because of the unfair advantage. Listen.
Justice Barrett.
I have some questions about the implications of your theory. So how would your theory play out if we're talking about 6-year-olds, where there's no difference between boys and girls in terms of athletic ability, testosterone levels, et cetera? Could you have sex-separated teams then? Or sorry, sex-separated teams by biological sex and not allow trans girls on the...
Certainly, Your Honor. First, I'd like to explain how the statute applies to that situation so I can put my answer in context. There are no 6-year-olds in the state to whom the statute applies because there are no school-sponsored
That's why it was a hypothetical.
Okay, right. Yes, it would be the normal intermediate scrutiny analysis. And are we saying it applies only to 6-year-olds or to everybody across the board?
Well, I'm just trying to give you a I mean, yours is driven by testosterone levels and differences in athletic capability. So I'm asking you, what if you try to take that out of the equation and you're just drawing the line based on biological sex and saying that trans girls can't be on the girls' team in an age group that's prepubescent?
The record in this case does not support the notion that males lack an athletic advantage at 6 years old. That's about as early as the science goes from what's in the record. And even at that age, males have about a 5% athletic advantage over girls in most situations. Now, if this is not a level of competition where anybody cares about that, the simple solution is the solution you see in most places, which is you have co-ed sports, you don't divide the teams based on sex, and everybody can play. And Idaho's law does nothing to interfere with that.
And remind me whether Idaho's law, and I guess your answer made me think of this, and I guess this goes to the question of whether the law discriminates on the basis of trans status. Is it true that biological girls, trans boys, can play on boys' teams?
Anyone can play on boys' teams, Your Honor. Anyone
can play on boys' teams, okay. And to this point about medical uncertainty and scientific uncertainty, you were talking about what advantages you might have even that are apart from testosterone levels. Mm-hmm. Your friends on the other side say that, listen, that science is uncertain, and so we need more factual development. It's not really clear how much of an athletic advantage boys and men have if their testosterone levels are below a certain point. How does that play out? Tell me why we don't need more fact-finding, or what is the state's burden in showing what the state of scientific certainty is? Do we have to defer to the state? Presumably at some point, if deference is due, the state would have too little scientific evidence to really get that deference. Tell me how to think about that.
Tell you how to think about it. Tell you how to think about, because the other side says once the testosterone drops below a level, there's really no difference between male and females. Do we need more scientific evidence, more research? Tell me how to think about it. I'll tell you how to think about it. God created man in his own image. In the image of God he created them. He created male and female. And if you want to argue that there's no difference between males and females when it comes to physical attributes, there is literally nothing I can do to help you. Do we need more science? Do we need more fact-finding? How about this? Forget the angle that somehow testosterone levels give gives male an advantage over females. Forget that angle. How about this angle? Men are men and women are women. Men and men and women are women. And a man can't become a woman, a woman can't become a man. Therefore, the whole concept of transgenderism doesn't exist. How about that angle? Just saying.